evening all, welcome to Kicking Dust. Right, today, this is a drama-filled episode, okay? None of which is my opinion, so please don't flame me on this. Last time I spoke about PC, I got in trouble. But we're going to talk about the proposed war that is now breaking out between the whole PC lot. Now, war's good. War is always should be the default position for most things, but we're going to look a little bit at the psychology of the game player. The game player in Eve and Dust, because they have a particular interesting kind of psyche, and then also we're going to look at what things are maybe going on. Now, we're not going to use corp names. We're not going to call people out willy-nilly, because last time I did that, I got a particular corp very angry at me, and it was a shame actually, because I do think that corp, which shall remain nameless, was actually very good. I was actually always very impressed with how they play, but we're not going to do that this time. But let's just talk. What happened in PC was for many moons, the whole PC map never really changed because people found out a way to lock districts, and this is almost the worst kind of gameplay mechanic you can imagine. Was that if you attacked your district and then your opponent didn't show, they refunded the clone pack, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of ever. Stupid. But there we go. What can you do? There's probably a very good reason for why they did that, but it just meant that nobody ever actually fought battles because you could just win a district and lock it, permanently lock it. And then out of this kind of madness, a change happened, and that meant that you can no longer lock it without losing the money. So there's no point locking a district every day or whatever for like 40 mil, is it? Or is it 20 mil out? I forget. But you had to pay many millions to actually unlock, or rather attack a district, and then you lost it. So if you tried to lock it, it cost you quite a lot of money. The whole issue of CCP with regards PC has been just completely foolish in my mind. Why on earth would they think that people would stop at, oh, I've got 10 districts, I'm happy now? Do they not understand human nature? Of course Malden Heath was taken in 22 minutes. Of course it was, because we would have taken everything had we been able to spam quick enough. And that's exactly what happened. People spammed and they got everything. And it's stupid to think that. What I would have done is put a limit on a corp or an alliance or whatever of number of districts you can hold. I know it's filled with problems, but by locking everybody out and by then bandwagoning, which we'll come to in a minute, because bandwagoning is just the absolute the purest form of cowardice that is possibly ever been seen ever in this human experience. But we'll come to that. With the whole kind of just one region, just then ability to kind of spam multiple ones, you then can lock them with the income that you're getting. It's just stupid. And I think that kind of became the kind of killing blow to PC. That's what got us out of it. Actually, what got us out of it was the mechanics of it, because the mechanics of just the whole process was kind of stupid, because most of us have lives, most of us have jobs, most of us have families, most of us have XYZ. And if at that particular point I couldn't imagine logging on at 4 in the morning to go and fight a PC battle, because I have a life. I do, believe it or not. I spend 1 day a week doing these videos. From the rest of it, I'm out drinking and socializing and quaffing beautiful cocktails with funny fruit in it, and and chatting up young ladies in cocktail dresses. That is my life. That is the life of pirates. And so to me, it was like, well, it's a nice idea, but I am not going to literally say no to going out with Felicity Ballbuster on a date over sitting at home in my pants playing a PC match. Call me stupid. But I know where my priorities are, bro. And that literally was what happened. We just decided it's not worth the effort. Now, the whole piece of PC that kind of really did piss me off was the whole bandwagoning piece. Now, there's nothing wrong with bandwagoning. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anybody's a coward for doing it. I'm joking. But what I think was a shame was the way that people ran to the bandwagon. Now, some of the big corps in the game who are very good at this game and fight well in this game, they are the ones that I think are cheapened by this kind of bandwagon culture. So, some of the best corps in the game who've always been in PC and have always been very good at it, I have the ultimate respect for, because they are good. What's not good is all the people that then flock to their banner who are shit and then start to wave their banner in front of them saying, look at us, we're the best. Now you'd be amazed how many people do this, and it's the same with certain alliances. Well, it's the same with all of the alliances in EVE as well. In particularly certain alliances that have quite a strong culture, people do anything they can to get in. Then once they're in, all of a sudden it's like they've been a fan and a supporter of this group since the year dot, and it's just not the case. And I think this is kind of my issue with a lot of PC and that whole piece at the moment is people just sold their soul to get into the alliance that held everything, and then once they got there, they probably fight a PC battle once a week because they're not the A team, they're not the good guys, but they talk as if they are, they smack as if they are, they act as if they are. And I think that's kind of the shame of it. It's funny in a way because, I mean, I've got to admit, with certain groups, I'm surprised that they allow this level of pubbiness. And that's really what we're talking about, is complete dicks who just think they are the reason this corporation is successful because of them. And that's, to me, I'm surprised that they're tolerated. It's a numbers game, I know, but it just does feel that sometimes, the egos of certain people are just absolutely misplaced because they've achieved nothing. And bandwagons do create this. People will say, well, this alliance is the strong alliance, therefore I'm going to run to that alliance, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's kind of why we've got a problem here, because this was also a problem in EVE. There were just not enough wolves, but there were plenty of sheep. Okay, this is something I've said before in other videos, that there's always going to be this requirement for a wolf to be out there to kind of round up the sheep and then go do something. And that has always been the issue of Dust, is there's far too many people who are sheep, do not want to take the leadership, do not want to take the responsibility, but then there's more than enough sheep to follow the one that is winning. And that's, again, fascinating stuff to me. Anyway, I'm not going to spout any more on that. I just think that one of the key things I would love to see in Legion is this ability to kind of say, yes, you could have 20,000 mercenaries in this corp, but I would love to see a ranking system, and that would be game generated on how good they actually are. Now, kill boards in EVE do this really well. So you can be a mouth in the corp, but then you could be called out for saying, sorry dude, you've actually killed no one, or you've killed like 10 people. How are you acting like all this? And I would do that for this game as well. I would literally have Legion have rankings and maybe even champions of the Corp or the Alliance. And these guys would then be basically what everybody aspires to be. Because you want to create animosity within the Corp structure as well. Yes, we're all friends and we all get on and we all have a laugh. But you want to be known as the best tanker. You want to be known as the best this. You want to be seen as in the elite of this Corp. And I would love for there to be mechanics in Legion that say, well, sorry bro, you're just a nobody. And that would be awesome, wouldn't it? This ability to and then publicly see that record. So you get a mouth spouting off. You could then say, well, look, sorry dude, you're crap at this, because look, you've barely done any fighting for your group. Who do you think you are? Now, I'm not saying KD. I'm not saying stats like that, because that's bollocks. Who gives a shit about KD? I'm saying something that just says, in the past month, this guy has fought 3 battles, and therefore, out of the 100 battles that have been fought, he's a nobody. And I would love to see that. I don't know if it's possible. If it is, it'll be cool. To me, it's kind of the thing that I would say is required, because the last thing you want, and the worst thing that can happen to Legion, is, again, the bandwagons just form. And I would love to see this kind of ability to build animosity, led through ego. It's always through ego, of some form of stat capturing or stat generation that just says, no offense bro, but you're a noob. And even rankings in the corp, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Automatic rankings that just you go through, lieutenant of this and captain of that. And that'd be good. Probably not, but it may cause more issues than problems, but than it solves. But I would love to do something like that, just because I think it would really draw out this kind of, in metaphorical terms, there's the big guy who stood there, who's wizened and fought loads, and then there's these little guys like reaching around, going, yeah, shaking their fist, and that's those people that we want to get completely rid of, or tested, if you like. I digress. The whole thing seems to be coming down around its ears, which is interesting. So there is, I believe it's fair to say, civil war going on. These are groups of people who fought together under a particular alliance, and now they are no longer doing that. They seem to be fighting one another. So that's good. People did ask if Darkstar Army is ever going to throw its millions and billions of ISK into PC. The answer is no. Nice and simple, eh? What's the point of PC? We have far too filled social calendars for PC, I'm afraid. So we decided not to do it. In Legion, maybe we will, but it needs to be a mechanic that doesn't require us to not attend these wonderful shindigs we go to, because Felicity Ballbuster is a hell of a lady. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next time.